I'm going to go backwards. Okay. So today our hot topic was the meaning of your name. I don't know why. I had two different hot topics I wanted to talk about. And that one was like, do this one. And then I came up with a whole presentation on it. And so we're going to briefly talk about why is it important to know the meaning of your name. And then we're going to give you some examples of how to use that with your clients. And so I hope this is helpful because I got excited about doing it. So one of the reasons it's important to know the meaning of your name is because it gives you a deeper connection to yourself, or, you know, help you understand something about maybe what your parents' intentions were about, and or their hopes were when they named you. We're going to be going through these really quickly because I want to really have a conversation about it. And we'll see these again. So if it feels like we're going fast, it's okay. You're going to see these again. But your name is your personal identity. One of the reasons I was so interested in doing this is I'm reading this book with one of my clients that I actually misplaced. But it talks about the Negro name and what does Negro mean, and being called Negro, what has it done for those of us who are in the African American diaspora, what being called Negro has done generationally to ourselves. And so personally, your name is a big part of your identity. And again, like we said, it gives you some understanding about what your parents' intentions were when they named you. It also has cultural and historical significance. So names often carry cultural or religious meanings, and understanding yours can connect you to your heritage, your traditions, or even give you some insight into your family roots. Another reason, which I love, because we call this narrative therapy, you know, we read in my therapy practice. I'm reading 5 or 6 books right now because I have 5 or 6. Really, 2 of my clients are reading the same book, so I probably have about 7 or 8 clients reading right now as part of the therapeutic process. But when we use our names in our storytelling and in our self-expression, one, it could be a great conversation starter when you know what your name's meaning is. And it could be poetic or powerful, or it's just interesting. So for instance, my mother named us Renita, Kendra, and Raphael. My dad's name was Russell. My mom's name is Katie. She wanted to do this RKR thing. I don't know how many children they were going to have, but the reason my name and my sister's name start with R is because she was wanting to follow that kind of pattern. And your name can give you a sense of purpose. So some people find inspiration or even guidance in the meaning of their name, especially when your meaning of your name aligns with the qualities that you value, like strength, wisdom, and kindness. I was just listening to NDRE, strength, wisdom, whatever that song is. I had that on today. So it can give you a sense of purpose, right? And then finally, knowing your name and respecting what the meaning of your name, then you can mirror that for others. I know for me, people, especially when I was little, people used to call me Reuniti because of that wine. I think there was this really cheap wine called Reuniti, or even just, I know there's one of the goddesses who calls me Renetta, you know what I mean? But I think it's important because I do this. I did it in my practice, in the community, did it while teaching. When somebody tells me their name, I try really hard to say their name the way it is meant to be said. And that shows them that I respect who they are as a person, and I want to receive that respect back, right? And it also promotes cultural understanding. So if it's a name that's not often heard of in the people in the circles that you're around, you could probably ask some questions like, oh, wow, that's an interesting name, right? And widen your expansion of a person and their culture. Okay. All right. So using my name, the meaning of your name in the therapeutic setting may look like, one, identity exploration, right? We said personal identity. So you can reflect, you can ask your client, or I'm asking you guys And whatever one of these, there's going to be 5 of them that really sticks out to you. I would love it if we can have a dialogue about it. But reflect on your name's meaning as a way to explore how you see yourself versus how you've been seen or named by others. And the therapeutic purpose could be to strengthen or reclaim your sense of self, especially useful in identity development, self-esteem work, or during life transitions. I have a couple of clients who use the they, them pronoun, and their names are very they, them. The way they've shortened their names, maybe their birth name, and now they've shortened it. It's very they, them, right? And so being able to have that dialogue with them as it relates to them really leaning into their they, them identity. But it could just, even if it's not the pronouns, just your self-esteem work. And we're going to look at that when we get to the affirmations, or changing your name. For instance, I was married and my legal last name is Davis, but the man I was married to died before we can get divorced. And I like using Renita Ray, but legally I use Renita Davis for licensure purposes. So then knowing the meaning of your name. So if my name means light, my name does not mean light. We're going to get to that. But if your name means light, that's something I've never felt like, but I want to. That would be something you could talk to your client about. So if their name means a certain thing, like courage, like we just said, what if they've never felt courageous, but people call it every time somebody says their name, they're saying courage. They're saying you are courageous. And knowing that meaning affirms them every single time someone says their name. It could be knowing the meaning of your name in a therapeutic setting and talking to your clients about the meaning of their name helps us to explore the origin and cultural context of their name, their family dynamics, their ancestry, or intergenerational patterns, like what I just said, Russell, Katie, Renita, Kendra, Raphael, right? And it could help them build connection to their heritage, help uncover family expectations or values that might be attached to the name. And so one of the prompts that you could ask your clients are, why do you think your parents chose that name for you? What does that say about their hopes or beliefs? One, I've always known, because I am a Gemini and I ask my mom 1,000 questions. She named me after her best friend in high school. So she really, I was like, why Renita? So she had a best friend that she really admired, and she named me after her. And so to know that my name was something that of somebody that she really loved and cared about and admired, says that she had a lot of hopes and love and admiration for me when I was born. The third way we can use this in a therapeutic setting is meaning making and reframing. So clients can reframe negative self-perceptions through the positive attributes associated with their name. So the therapeutic purpose could be it encourages narrative change and helps foster personal empowerment. And so an activity you could do with your clients is write a short story or letter from the perspective of your name's meaning. What does that version of you want to say? So again, if somebody's name means courageous, writing a letter from the perspective of courage, what would that courage want to say to the person who may not feel courageous? And again, this is helping the client internalize the meaning of their name so that whenever they hear their name, they're like, I am courageous, I am bold. It is safe for me to stand up for myself. That helps to reframe any negative self-perceptions that they might have had, okay? Naming as a metaphor, when we're using the meaning of a client's name or even your name in the therapeutic setting. So exploring our name symbolically, what we are called, what we call ourselves, what we wish we were called. So in therapy, in the therapy session room, it could be useful in trauma work and inner child healing, or exploring aspects of the self, like the inner child, the survivor, or the artist. An example prompt is, if you could rename yourself today, what would you choose and why? Y'all, I remember when I was a teenager, I was so angry with my mom. I was 11, 12, 13 years old. I wanted to be called Nikki. I thought Nikki was so cute. I was going to wear my hair in a ponytail and just bop around. Can't y'all see that? I was going to bop around and I was going to be named Nikki, right? And so maybe even going back to that previous slide and like, if Nikki, my inner child, Nikki, that adolescent child who wanted to just be called Nikki and bop around, what letter would she write to me today as it relates to Nikki? Or if you could rename yourself today, like this prompt says, what would you choose and why? For me right now, I love my name, Renita. So I wouldn't rename myself today, but maybe I could use that era of when I did want to rename myself. Look, y'all, I looked up how much it would cost and everything to change my name to Nikki because I was serious. And then finally, affirmations and self-worth. So, and this is the exercise we're actually going to do today. So in the therapeutic setting, you could have your client create affirmations based on their name's meaning or origin. And y'all know I love affirmations. My love language is words of affirmation, but it builds confidence, self-love, and a sense of uniqueness. So if your client's name means warrior, the affirmation might be, I am strong and I face challenges with courage. Okay. So I went ahead and put some examples. My name means reborn. I love that. And I think that's why I wanted to stick with that today, because today is Easter Sunday. And we know that there's some context with that reborn word, right? So my affirmation is, I am Renita, constantly evolving, courageously beginning again. Each day I rise renewed, releasing the past and embracing my limitless becoming. And if I wanted to go a little bit further, because y'all know I'm a journaler, if I wanted to journal about my name being reborn, if today were the first day of a new chapter in my life, what would I let go of? What truth about myself am I ready to fully embrace? So, what is the meaning of your name? I cannot wait to hear. And it's so very, very nice to meet you.